chapters 8 and 9 of The Courage of Sarah Noble by Alice Dalgleish. See that picture? The first night was the strangest. All day Sarah had played with the children. They did not speak in the same words, but somehow they understood each other. When they couldn't understand, it did not seem to matter. Friends have ways of speaking without words. But darkness came early, and Sarah found herself in the house with Tall John and his family. How she longed for her own family. The evening meal was not what Sarah was used to. The Indians ate with their hands and had no plates. Still, the meat tasted good, and Tall John's wife had cooked it. Sarah liked cooking, but there are times when she tired of it. She ate the food and she enjoyed it. When bedtime came, Sarah opened the bag she had packed so neatly, the bag that had come all the way from Massachusetts colony with her on the willing back of Thomas. The children watched eagerly. What magic was Sarah going to take out of the bag? But there was no magic, only a long, warm nightgown and a comb. The children watched, interested but puzzled, as Sarah put on the nightgown. Their eyes never left her as she combed out her long hair. That long, brown hair of Sarah's, it was like the silk on the corn in late summer. The children came near and touched it. Then Sarah knelt by the side of the low bed covered with furs, to say her prayers as she always did. She said them out loud, as she had done when her father was there to listen. The tears came to her eyes again, for it was a lonely business. God bless my father and my mother and my brothers and sisters. Make the baby strong and well. Keep my father safe and bring him back to me. She stopped for a minute, partly because her voice was choked, but partly because she did not know if it was right to pray for a horse. Then she went on. And keep Thomas safe on the way, and keep me safe, and... Now she really had to stop and think. Was it right to pray for Indians? Did the Lord take care of Indians? She could only ask him and see. Please, God, if you take care of the Indians too, please bless Tall John and his wife, and Small John and Mary, forever and ever. Amen. The children heard their names, and looked at their father with a question in their eyes. She speaks with her great spirit, their father said, as we speak with our great spirit. Good, said Small John, who was like his father in not wasting words. The Night of Fear. October days were warm and sunny. The Indian women spread the corn out to dry. At night, Sarah helped them cover it carefully so the heavy dew would not wet it. There were many things to do. Tall John's wife taught Sarah how to weave a basket. And because Sarah's clothes were stiff and heavy, the Indian woman made her clothes out of deerskin, such as the Indians wore when the days grew colder. She also made a pair of deerskin moccasins. Sarah's feet felt light and free. She walked softly, as the Indian children did. Often she thought of her family. Were they on the way? Would Hannah and Margaret be afraid of the wolves? Stephen would not be, and the baby was too young to know about the danger. There was nothing, she thought, to be afraid of here with Tall John and his family. But there was. The pleasant, quiet days came to an end, and all at once Sarah felt that there was a fear and disturbance in the air. More Indians kept watch on Guarding Hill. The Indians from the north must be coming. So Sarah scarcely knew whether to sleep at night. Suppose... But, tired from long days in the sun, she slept at last, always with a fold of her red cloak caught in her hand. And before she slept, she said to herself, "Keep up your courage, Sarah Noble. Keep up your courage." Once in the night she wakened and listened. Tall John had told her, partly in words and partly by signs, that all along the great river there were hills like Guarding Hill where men kept watch. If the Indians from the north were coming, the word would be passed from hill to hill by calling, and the villages would be ready. Sarah listened and listened. Once she seemed to hear a long, low wailing. Was this the signal? Were the Indians coming down from the north? She waited for the village to waken, but everything was still. In the darkness, she could hear... Hang on a second, I'll show you a picture. In the darkness, she could hear the even sleep breathing of Tall John and his wife, of Small John and Mary. "Why, it's nothing but a wolf," said Sarah. Soon her heart beat quietly, and she too was breathing evenly in sleep. In the morning, Tall John told her that there had been fear, but the danger had passed. The river villages would not be raided. So, forgetting all her fears of the night before, Sarah played with the other children. It was such a charming game they played in the warm sunshine. Taking off all their moccasins, they placed them in a row, then hid a pebble in one. Sarah was pleased when it came her turn to guess, and she guessed right. The pebble was in her own shoe. In the middle of the game, she turned suddenly, feeling that someone was watching her. And someone was. It was her father. John Noble stood there, saying not a word. His eyes crinkled up in the corners, the way they did when he was amused, and he said, "Sarah, I thought you were one of the Indian children." "Father," said Sarah, and ran to him. "Has my mother come?" "We are all here now," said her father. "I have come to take you home. But, daughter, I think it would be well for you to put on your own clothes, or your mother will surely not know you." So Sarah put on her clothes, piece by stiff piece. She now thought of buttons as tiresome, and as for petticoats, well, the moccasins she kept on, for her feet refused to go into those heavy leather shoes again. When she was ready to leave, she saw Tall John looking sadly at her. "You go, Sarah," he said. "I must," said Sarah. "My mother is here." Tall John said nothing, but swung Sarah up on his shoulder as he had done many times before. And that's the end of chapter 9.